Hi there, everyone. I'm Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church. This is our 2-minute Bible lesson for the week of November the 9th, 2020. Let's begin with an Old Testament lesson. In the early part of the Old Testament, the book of Judges, there was one female judge whose name was Deborah. And one day, Deborah was told by God to call Barak, who was the general, the man in charge of the forces of the people of God, and was told to go up and fight against the Canaanites, and they would be delivered into his hand. Now, the Canaanite general at the time was a man named Sisera, and because he was leading the Canaanites, he had to be an extraordinarily gifted man. He was a tough soldier. Everybody was afraid of him. The armies were afraid of him. I'm pretty sure that Barak was afraid of him too, because instead of doing what Deborah told him to, Barak said, "I will go if you will go with me." Barak was afraid to follow the command from Deborah, the wishes of God, unless Deborah went with him to make sure. So Deborah said, "All right, I will go with you. However, you will not be the one to defeat Sisera. Instead, his defeat will be in the hands of a woman." Now at the time, despite the fact that Deborah was a woman and was a judge in Israel, for a woman to defeat a Canaanite general would have been a terrible embarrassment. But Barak did not want to do this without Deborah's help. And Deborah said that's how this was going to be. So that's what happened. During the battle, Sisera and his forces were soundly defeated, were routed. So Sisera ran for his life. And he hid in the tent of an ally. And he thought he was safe. And he was so exhausted from the fight that he just lay down on the ground and went to sleep. And as he was asleep, the wife of one of his allies took a tent peg, put it to his forehead, took a hammer, and drove it through his head, killing him. Two lessons from this story. Number one, God's will cannot be denied. God will do or God will act as God wishes. And number two, not following God's will means that others who do will get the credit in God's eyes and in the eyes of others. Amen.